Let's face it, some clients are just not worth it. They drain your time, energy, and effort. And guess what? When you develop them the result, they won't even pay for your effort. Does that sound a bit familiar? Here's the good news. I found ways that you can pull out the unwanted client and keep the only client that you want to work with. So, what if I told you there's a way that you can make unwanted client poof disappear like a magic show almost instantly? No drama, no stress, and it's just a simple process of focusing on a client and that is matter and focusing the time on them. In this video, I'll show you 5 powerful strategies to handle unwanted client and whether they're difficult, unproductive, or they just not right for you in general, or they're just stubborn. What you can do when you apply this tactic is that you'll be able to sort out the unwanted client from the client you really, really want to work with. So, just it will save you a lot of time and money and effort, and overall, it's just more rewarding when you work with a client that you actually like. The first thing you need to do is set clear boundary. Set contract, deadline, time, payment term, any communication effort, anything like that to keep you and yourself in line and your client to follow the term, or else they will breach the contract. So I once had a client who would just call me all hours, Monday morning and like late evening and even weekends. They just keep telling me to do this, even when on our term I clearly stated that I will only work in these hours and I will generate these results, nothing more, nothing less. And when it comes to it, the clients keep demanding more and more and more. However, when you set a clear boundary, it is on your term to determine to generate more. So once you meet the client expectation, it's on your term to determine what is good, what is bad, if you want to do more and if you want to do less. It's not once you meet the client expectation, they will demand more of you. That's not how it works. That's not how a contract works. If they want more, they need to pay more. So unless it's coming out of your goodwill, you are the one who will increase the result if you like. Second, what I like to do right now is called qualification. So this is what I've called spotting the red flag early. So oftentimes when you work with people, they show kind of a bit of an irritation, even on like the sales call. You can tell that they're not gonna be fun to work with, or even before that, they're gonna be paranoid a lot of the time. And through my years of experience, no matter how good you get at sales and you even convince those hard clients, they're gonna be skeptical of what you do the whole process. And even if you generate the result that they like, they will still be skeptical of it. And oftentimes they will just ask for more without even like paying you the on for it, because they just think that the amount that they pay you already is already too much for your service. And most of the time, that's not true at all, because you are putting in your time, your effort, and your team time to create them the result they want and to meet their expectation. So, like I said on the tip beforehand, it's only you who set the expectation. Make sure you find ways to qualify these clients beforehand. Talk to them on messages. Like before I hop on any call with them, I typically have a pre-call. I call it what a pre-call is. I can like qualify them, qualify they're a good client or a bad client, and if they are qualified to work with me and they aren't such a pain in the ass to work with, then that's when I just had to move forward with the sales call. It's typically you who pick the term because you are the one who holds the product. You know what they want and you know you can deliver it. So have some confidence in that. So something that I've been doing is that I've been trying to learn to say no. So a lot of the time when you're in a sales call, you're just so close to just making that sales or closing that thing. And oftentimes people ask for unrealistic standard. So just learn to say no. Learn to say, hey, thanks for reaching out, but I don't think our program is the right fit for you. That's just a way for them to say, hey, I understand it, I respect it, and it's whatever you do, okay, that's fine. And most of the time, it's not even like they're asking something real ridiculous. So if anything that I can provide within my scope, then I will say, hey, I can do it for you. I'll it's I'll make that happen. But however, when it comes to people who are very, very like rigid and they won't budge until their offer is met. And most of the time when you take on those offer, it is more a loss rather than a win because you just close the sales. I've had this client in the past where I've specifically told him that this program costs this much and we will uh, demand this much for however much client. He said, okay, this much client is all right, but can you work off of commission? Once you pay for commission, once the commission paid, I'll pay the rest of your fee. No risk for him. It's all risk on me. And I guess people just can't expect where they don't think that you're spending much money on providing their campaign at all. Like expecting that like you're some sort of genie where you can just snap that out of the air. But most of the time when people are making like unreasonable demand, like for example for me, working off of complete commission at this rate right now without like a short-term return, I can't do it. It's not within my budget, my resource or anything. So those clients I would say no to. And oftentimes when people like ask for a bunch more things rather than just sticking to what we offer and we kind of add on top. So don't try to get this wrong. It's not like you would just turn away all clients that don't like your product. There are component of sales where you have to upsell the client, add product onto it to make it so that you are okay with doing it that price and giving them those product. That is a component of sales. That's called upselling or add-on selling, whatever it is calling. But once it get out hand where you just can't completely think how you could profit from this anymore and you're just doing it for the sake of just closing, then just learn to say no. Then that's the reasonable way that you could say no and just reject them. Tip number 4. Learn to separate away from your clients if necessary. People, you might think, why? They're your money source, they're your income source. But be honest, how much are you spending on them and how much are they really yielding you in return? Like if they're paying $500 a month, for example, for your service, and you damn well almost pay $4.99 to get that service, do you think all the time that you spend to just keep up with their campaign is worth $1? So, or most of your term rely on them closing the client, but they can't close, and you just keep generating on lead where you are just doing on baseline and you're spending way much more time than that. It's not worth it. So, what I'm gonna say is that one, try to give them a different offer where you could stay benefiting while they could getting the result they don't want. Say like, hey, be honest, just be honest with them and just give them a notice. Say, hey, look, whatever your name is, you haven't been closing, and we have been meeting the appointment side on our end. We really need you to close, man. And if this is not gonna work, what we can propose to you is that we could, instead of doing like commission or work off a commission rate or something like that, where I solely rely on your commission to make money. How about we do a monthly rate where I will still guarantee you those type of client every time, qualified client, but we just can't work with the commission side anymore because you just seriously can't close. Just be honest, and most people are willing to step away from that. And a lot of people, if they're seeing result, they are willing to either pay more or they're willing to accept your offer. Next, tip number 5. So you just gotta attract your dream client. How exactly, you say? So this is the most important thing that I've learned when I was reading the Russell Brunson book. You gotta see their profile, vision what they would do, what they would look like, how they would spend their money, and everything like that. Where would they hang out? And just kind of envision what type of client you want to work with. So I have wrote down over here, and I have just have a bunch of books over here. I wrote down my dream client over here, and it basically states what's their name, their gender, what type of things they like, what type of hobby they have, where they hang out, what the food they like, and everything that I can envision as my dream client. And from there, it's easy for you to kind of attract those type of clients because you know where they are. If you want to work with like a self-improvement gurus, most of the time they would be hanging out in self-improvement groups, schools, or YouTube or stuff like that because that's their platform. So by creating your own profile, you are able to attract clients that you want, and you are able to kind of formulate the qualifying question that separate them from a good client and a bad client. So there are a couple of ways you can do this. When you are going out to look for your dream client, I would do this myself because it's only me who knows my own clients. However, that does take a lot of time. So the screening process that I have are completely automated. I do this through a automation tools that kind of ask them if they're interested or not. So just gauge their interest, and then I have a VAs that come in and ask all of that questions. So it is automated for me, and I don't have to lay a finger on it. And most of the time when I hop on calls, these clients are already qualified and they're already ready to talk to me. They know who I am and stuff like that. So that's really much it. These are the top 5 strategies that I have for myself to get rid of the unwanted client and make them disappear. Skadoosh. Bye-bye. And just like that, I've just been filling up my calendar with clients that are ready to work with me and I can use to practice my sales skill on. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you like that, just let me know in the comment and hit the like and subscribe button. Other than that, I have a free course that I give to everyone here, and basically it will teach you how to get 5 to 10 clients and how my system works in the description below. So make sure you check that out. But other than that, later.